We welcome Allie Smith, wing defence of the Melbourne Vixens, to the Sports Hour Show. How you going, Allie?
Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. And you're in the hub now in Queensland. How are you finding that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a different lifestyle up here. Obviously, feel sorry for everyone back home, and we're thinking of everyone back there. But yeah, it's lovely here. It's beautiful weather, and yeah, it's a great environment to be in.
And you played your first Super Netball game on last Saturday against the West Coast Fever. How was that
Yeah,
experience for you?
yeah, it was awesome. A shock to the system, and a beautiful opportunity to get out there and have a crack. Yeah, so we got the draw, which is a bit unlucky, but it was an amazing opportunity and had a great time.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful achievement because the Vixens have had a remarkable season, and to be a part of such a successful side is a great accolade. So, what have been some of the things that have worked for you personally this year, and also as a team?
Yeah, sitting at the top at the moment. I think we're 2 games clear, a game and a half clear, which is great heading into finals. A few things that have worked for us as a team have been obviously going back to the drawing board, and when we do have a loss or a win or a draw, heading back to the drawing board, and there's always things to work on and learn from and all that kind of stuff. Being in the hub has obviously made us all so much closer as a team and friends and family, we call it up here, which is great. So obviously getting out there, having a crack and really playing our own game, and not letting other teams sort of dictate the pace that we're running at. We get out there and we're the first foot forward. So yeah, that's what's worked well so far.
What was the experience like in that first game? Did you find it a lot different to other netball you've played? Like, was the pace? What were some of the eye openers in that game?
Yeah, so the pace is fast and
Yeah.
it's very, very good, obviously being at one of the top levels. Yeah, but coming from an environment that I'm in with the Vixens, it's a great opportunity, but heading back home when we were at home, the sort of pace as training when we're at the training sessions is quite similar to out on court. We have such high expectations as a team and players, coming from the coaches and each other. Our expectations are really at the point where we should be training like we're playing. I know that's quite cliche to say, but yeah, that's how we run when we're off the court or in a practice match as such. So the energy is always high, and we're training each other pretty much like we're going to be out on court. So yeah.
And you play in the wing defence position. What was how did you find the game personally? How did you feel? You felt at the level? Did you feel confident after the game that you could sort of continue and have a long career?
Yeah, so obviously I'm a younger player in a great team, and the girls all got behind me, and it was really good to be out there and feel that rush of blood and that adrenaline. Being out on court is definitely different to being on the sidelines, and getting that opportunity just to sort of, it's right there. I've just got to grab it with 2 hands and really have a crack, and go for all ball, which is my job out there. And sort of being a pest is what a wing defence does.
And they've introduced the new rule with the two-point scoring zone. You're in wing defence, so you can't score. But have you found that that's made a difference to the game?
Yeah, definitely. So now, obviously, in the last 5 minutes, we can score the 2-point shot where there's the outside radius of the circle. It's definitely changed, I guess, the strategies that we have going into it. Where two points can change a game. As you probably saw against the Fever, we were down by nearly 14 goals in that third quarter. So those 2-point shots, and our goalers are amazing at what they do, and the 2-point radius does not determine anything. We'll take that with 2 hands, and we'll shoot until we can come home with the win, hopefully.
When you were growing up as a young junior playing netball, did you play any other sports as well?
Yeah, so I had a good crack at other sports to see and try and find what I liked. I ended up having to actually choose between netball and basketball, which path I wanted to take, and I felt as though I had more of an opportunity, and I had a bit more drive in netball and had some great coaches around me in netball, so I did take that pathway. But I also swimming, tennis, did a bit of badminton, so I had a crack at a few sports, but netball seemed to be the catch of the day, and followed through with that, so that's been great.
Yeah, it's good that you sort of played some other sports as well and got those experiences in. It's good to hear. And did you sorry, I was going to ask you. Yeah, did you were there some coaches and friends that really helped you in your earlier times growing up and playing in the earlier days?
Yeah, I had some great junior coaches. My mum included in that. She coached me when I was younger, and going through getting the opportunity to get a scholarship to Geelong Grammar. Now with Di Honey being the assistant coach of the Melbourne Vixens, having those 3 years under her really helped, and got a little bit of experience under my belt getting coached at that level, which was great. So I had a fair few coaches going through the pathway, the Netball Victoria, which were all great coaches, and I've learned there's always been one thing that I've taken away from each coach, and you can put that in your bag and put that away for when you get the opportunity to step out on the big court, which is great. Still learning day by day, and obviously having Simone as a coach now is really great, and being one of the best wing defences that there's been, it's easy to learn off her, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that she coached you at school. Is there a difference now, or like what's that like? What does that make you think when you were she coached you at school, and now she's sort of coaching you at the Vixens? Is it a bit different, or are there a lot of similarities as well?
Yeah, I think Di, no matter what environment she's in, she's always in fine form. She's a great coach, and she sticks by what she said back to me and at school, and she still has that same belief in me, and it's great that she's coached me for nearly 5 years, I think it's going on, being my coach, because she's also the premiership coach of the Fury team, so that's great. So she's really had a huge impact on my netball career so far.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And for the Vixens this season, what do you think has been some of the things that have really, they've had 9 wins, a draw and a loss. So it's a pretty good season so far. What do you think were some of the really driving forces that led to putting together those, a remarkable season so far?
Yeah, I think a huge part that plays a role in that is our off-court friendship and connection. That really does show out on the court, being such great friends. We have each other's back, and I guess going into games, in our conversations before the game, it's always, you play your game, we'll play for each other, and there's no real individual in the sport. Being a team sport, we all have each other's back, and we've just got to back ourselves, and that's how we've got the wins so far. And looking forward, let's hope we get some more wins.
It must be a good hub life then, seeing that you guys connect so well, and it's proven on the court. What's it been like off the court in a hub?
Yeah, it's been awesome. As I said, we're sort of in the middle of Brisbane, and we're flying out to Cairns on Saturday, so that'll be really nice to see that part as well. The hub life's different. It's actually been the longest I've been away from home so far, so it's been 2 months, I think, and we've got another few months to go. It's different. I guess living with your teammates day in, day out is great, and we get to get that off-court connection, and it's good to see that the connection's helping us on court as well.
What have your room teammates been like? Have you had the lucky players with you?
Yeah, so I'm rooming with Katie Ann, so she's Jamaican, so getting to taste some Jamaican food has been great. So we cook and every second night. So she's good in the kitchen, actually. She's really quite good. So her fish is a standout. We've had a few girls come over and share some fish that she's cooked. So I've been lucky with her. She's good. She's out there watching a movie now. You can probably hear it through the through the wall.
Oh, well, Possibly. I can't hear it, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. What about what have you enjoyed most so far about in your career at the Vixens?
Obviously, the on the weekend, the debut is pretty awesome. To say that I've stepped foot out on court with the number one team so far in the ladder, being in such a successful team is also a highlight. And the girls around me, I said in one of my interviews earlier, just these girls that I've grown up idolising, I'm now playing on the court with them. So I guess that's a great achievement in itself, and something that I don't think I'll ever forget, that's for sure.
And looking to the future, what are some of your hopes and sort of goals? Heading into the future, you've only just started, so have you had a bit of time to think about that?
Yeah, obviously goal setting, something that we all do, and I guess just keep growing as a person on and off the court. That has a massive role to play in an elite sport, really. So I'm all ears, and learning and just taking everything in, and hoping to obviously get a contract one day, and play up here, contracted. That'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's it like being away from home and the family and friends in Melbourne? How's that been for you, being up in the hub and away from them?
Yeah, I've got a great support network around me, which I'm really lucky to have. Being away from home has been surprisingly not as hard as I thought. I guess getting the opportunity to come up here is exciting in itself, but yeah, definitely starting to miss home. But we've got still a few things unfinished things to do. So once we get to that grand final, hopefully, then we get to come home and see our loved ones.
Well, absolutely. It'll be a great reward for finishing the season, making it to the grand final, hopefully. And I really look forward to seeing that and seeing the rest of the season for the Vixens. And all the best, Allie, for your season. And thanks for coming on the Sports Hour.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for having me.